Hi, I'm Simon Taylor. This is my first instructional video, and it's on the basis of some requests that I've had from people on how I do some certain things within my photography. I hope you enjoy it, and just please forgive me for any bad quality sound or video. Um, One of my favorite photography editing techniques is commonly referred to as the girl in the red jacket, which is taken from the film Schindler's List. It's a particular technique where you have a black and white image and you pull out color from a specific part of the scene. People have asked me how to do this. It's relatively simple. I just wanted to show off how I do it. First thing I do is obviously take my photographs. And as you can see in the background here, I've loaded up my image editor, which is called GIMP in this particular case. That will open up the particular file that I'm interested in. And this bit might fast forward. I have to say my computer isn't particularly fast. Okay, so my image is loaded. First thing that I will do is I will select the whole image, and I will then produce a copy of that, as you can see, and then I'll paste it as a new layer. So I'm working with two layers. You will see the new layer appears on the little bar over here on the side, and I rename that just so that it's distinguishable from the clipboard. I'll just name it black and white B&W, and that will be our top image. So first thing I'm going to do is, because I've called it black and white, is I'm actually going to make that into a black and white image. So I'm going to use the desaturate option. And it was at this point when I was recording the screen that Zachary, my son, came in. So I paused for a moment. Might fast forward that bit. Obviously clicked in the wrong place. Or maybe not. Okay, so I've just turned that image black and white. I just want to pull out some more of the darker tones from within the image. So I'm going to go into the levels option under colors, into the colors menu, and that will enable me to adjust the darker part of the input level. As you can see, there's more shade there. There's a lot more kind of contrast between the black and the white appearing there. Now I'm going to add what's known as a layer mask, and the layer mask enables me to basically drill holes through, or paint holes through that top layer to reveal what's underneath. So I'm just going to select a brush with a soft edge. So you'll see why in a moment. It's really useful to use a soft edge brush. And I'm going to zoom into this little chap here, and I simply just start painting. And every brush stroke I take there, every like that, will actually just start to reveal more and more of the image below. Generally, as you see, I'm using quite a large brush there. It's quite a quick activity, but I need to go back and smarten up in a little bit around the edges before we finish, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to fast forward this for a little bit, because you don't really want to see me painting all of this stuff in, but essentially I'll just carry on painting, and I'll come back in a moment when I start to neaten up. Okay, so that's the jacket done, and I'm just about to move up and do this little cap. Amazing, isn't it, that kids still wear these caps? This is a particular private school in Chichester, so they do like their traditional school uniform. So as you can see from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. Um, the colour there just kind of revealed a bit too much of the dark. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just make a smaller brush, and I'm going to change the paint color. So black reveals the color below, and the white, if I choose a white paintbrush, it basically fills it back into the original grey and white, black and white that I had set that layer to. And as you can see here, what I'm going to do is just going to go around the outside where I've maybe gone over the lines a little bit, and I'm going to fill in some of the gaps just to make them black and white again, back to the original tone from below. And even then, as you can see, it takes a little while, and I do go over the lines a fair amount. So I'll come back and neaten that one up again in a minute, and you'll just see in a second that I'm going to now go and choose the black again, and that will just bring that back out again. There we go. So I've just neatened up that line there, and down just onto the collar area here where I accidentally erased too much. So now let's just skip back to the white around the cap here, and just paint back in some of the area that I shouldn't have revealed, because really I want this to be quite clean. As you can see, zooming in works pretty well. I'll go in as far as I can towards the subject and just neaten the situation up again. Okay, I'm going to fast forward on again, because at some point in the not too distant future, you'll see here I'm working on the little brother again. So it's very much the same technique. I've made the brush larger again. I'm using the black color on the brush to reveal the lovely red jacket, and obviously I'm moving on there. Let me fast forward a little bit more, and we'll just do his bag as well. And finally we'll go onto his cap, and just using the same method again. So I'm just going to correct some of the stuff I did wrong there, and I'll move back out again. And there's the bag. So that's kind of the scene nearly finished. What I'd like to do, and you'll see this on a number of my images, I like to hide my signature in the picture somewhere. It's not always in plain sight. Sometimes you have to work quite hard to see it, but I just like to have it there just as a watermark of what I've done. But I don't want it to be overbearing on the image. I'm not aiming to make any money out of these pictures, it's just for fun, but I do want my work to be credited to me. So essentially I'm adding another new layer, and what you'll see here, I'm going to make it transparent so that I can reveal the object behind, which is going to be the school bag. So I'm going to just make my signature a little bit smaller. I'm going to scale that down. Oh, made a mistake there. I should have set that scaling tool to maintain the perspective, the width and the height in the right proportions. I'm just going to shrink it down to about the size of the bag. And then what you'll see is I'm going to use the move tool there, and I'm going to move that over the bag, and then I'm going to use what's known as the perspective transform tool, and that is really cool. That's something I've started using a lot more. And zoomed in too far there. Let me zoom back out again, and I'm going to just basically place the corners of the grid here into the area of the bag, and let the grid and the image tool there work out the perspective. So it gives it the kind of, rather than looking flat as it did when I put it on there, it actually conforms to the shape of the bag. Okay, we'll change the opacity a little bit. I don't want that bright white signature to stand out too much. So I'll take that down a bit, and I'll just check and see how that looks when it's it's kind of blended in, so you can't really see it too much. Oh, for some reason or another, it's just created a new layer. It's copied that area. So let me correct that. Just need to change that mode back to the light and only, and like a Wally, I chose the wrong option to start with. Here we go, light and only, that's what I'm looking for. And again, if we zoom in, it looks a little bit dark, so I'm going to just take the opacity up a little bit, just so we get a bit more color from it. And let's preview that again at the full size. Okay, one other thing I just want to do is I want to make this the red stand out a bit more vividly. So, oh no, chose the wrong option. Sorry, was going to sharpen. I'll sharpen last of all. Um, you'll see what that's all about in just a moment. So I just want to adjust the levels here, bring out some of the darker shades. What you'll see as the screen refreshes, hopefully, is you'll just see that the red becomes a great deal more vivid, less white in there. It doesn't look so quite so washed out. And what I'm now just going to do is do that what's called an unsharp mask, which actually, despite the name, does make the image appear to be slightly sharper. And you'll see the effect of that occurring in a moment as well. And the good thing about this is we'll only see the exposed areas in just a moment. So just wait for that to finish and fast forward that. Okay, so that mask has now been applied, and I'm just going to put all the other elements back in there. Now, just find it's quite a big picture. There's lots of good stuff in there, but I really want much more of the focus to be around this small family group. I don't want people to have to kind of wander around such a large picture. So I'm just going to crop this in a little bit. This wonderful thing about tools like this, you can make your picture look exactly as you want. And here we go. Let's crop that to selection. And I'll zoom that in a wee bit just so you can appreciate the finished piece. And I'm going to export it. And once it's exported, I will then be able to view it as a JPEG. Well, as I'm finishing that, I just wanted to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy video, and if first one, as I said, I've ever done. So if any comments, please let me know. Give me a like. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day.